the rapper. Haven't we? We've all been soothed, but we're disappointed that he's decided to have that gigantic pink diamond that he implanted in the middle of his forehead. He's decided to have that removed. Earlier this week, Lil Uzi Vert, whose real name is Shamir Basil Woods, posted photos and videos on his Instagram stories with his girlfriend, the wonderful City Girls rapper JT.
Oh yeah, she's very good.
And the stone was not in his forehead. Now, while fans have been speculating for weeks that he removed the diamond, it's unclear exactly when the rapper decided to part ways with his face gem. The stone's also absent in Vert's new Calvin Klein campaign, which he promoted on social media in April. He claimed that he bought that diamond for $24 million.
Sure you did.
How does he have $24 million?
Well, because his music has delighted us all for so many years now. Let's see. COVID-19. Just the tip of the iceberg? Experts have revealed locations of global hotspots where new deadly viruses may emerge, driven by global changes in land use by human beings, including in China, in France, and in the UK. Forest fragmentation, agriculture expansion, and livestock production are bringing humans into closer contact with horseshoe bats, which are known to carry zoonotic diseases, including COVID-19. Conditions, experts say, Gina's looking sicker and sicker as we go along, conditions are ripe for diseases to jump from bats to humans, particularly in China, where a growing demand for bats as meat products have driven expansion of large-scale industrial livestock farming. Concentrated livestock production is concerning because it brings together large populations of genetically similar, often immune-suppressed animals that are highly vulnerable to disease outbreaks.
Oh, don't, Carrie.
And then
bats for pets or meat.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's not a rosy picture by any means.
So you're going to need that Radio from Hell face mask for quite a while.
Absolutely. The Salt Lake City School Board Commission has voted to raise the board compensation from quite a bit, from $3,000 to $12,000.
So they get to vote on their own raises, huh?
Many said that this increase will encourage them to work harder.
Really?
And make a difference in how many jobs that they have to work on the side. But there was still some hesitancy from a few board members. I'm hesitant to vote for it for the same reason I was hesitant to vote for tax increases. I feel like maybe this isn't the year to do it, one board member said. But then I look around and I see my board colleagues and I see the work that you do, each and every one of you, and I value that work. So, well, what the hell? Overall, the motion carried. So now each board member will receive $9,000 compensation increase. There was one person on the board who voted against the measure. Jenny Sika, whoever that is, but she said, I have no comment. I just didn't want to do it. Let's see, shipping containers. Finally, they've been talking about doing this for a long time, making an apartment building out of shipping containers here in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Well, they've done it. Box 500 apartments built out of shipping containers, stacked 6 stories high, and locked together like Lego bricks, essentially. Set to open in July. This is 543 South and 5th West. The 83 units were awarded city incentives to be affordable, and rents will range from $829 a month to $1,204 a month. That's according to Amanda Best, a specialist in the housing development program. Tenants have to qualify to rent them by earning 80% or less of the city's median income. Kind of a cool looking, there's a picture here. I think this was in the Salt Lake Tribune. And kind of a cool looking structure built of shipping containers.
It's an interesting idea, that's for sure. We talked to Mayor Mendenhall about that coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Donald Trump, increasingly concerned, obsessed, you might say, with ballot audits in a bid to overturn the election. Mm-hmm. He claims, and he believes fervently, apparently, that the November election was stolen from him, and he is increasingly consumed with the notion that the ballot reviews that are going on, pushed by his supporters around the country, could prove that he, in fact, won the election, according to people familiar with his comments. No, he's not going to.
I'm president, and you're not.
Trump has pushed back calls from some advisors to drop the matter, like Gina. Instead,
an advisor.
Wow.
Well, you
apparently
put
that on your resume,
him,
Gina.
You just advised him to let it go. I heard you.
Oh, then that means I can be a Trump advisor too.
Sure.
And he's been fixating on an ongoing Republican Commission audit in Arizona, plotting how to secure election reviews in other states such as Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, New Hampshire. So he wants this to continue.
Mm-hmm. The people from Pennsylvania went down to Arizona and took a tour of the whole procedure because they're very interested.
Oh.
The thing about the New Hampshire one that he keeps touting is apparently it was a very isolated section, a very small number of voting machines, and the machines were very old. And they were able to figure out that because the ballot was folded a certain way, it miscounted. But it wouldn't have made a difference at all.
No.
But they're touting that as a national emergency.
Trump's interest in this has been fueled by conversations he's had with an array of figures who have publicly touted false claims of election fraud.
Grifters.
Among them, according to advisors, is Christina Robb, a host at One America News Network, who has privately discussed the Arizona audit with the former president and his team. Mike Lindell, the inventor of the pillow, and Pennsylvania Senator Doug Mastriano. These are all people who think that there's massive election fraud. I wonder where the lawsuits against those people by the Dominion Company, where those stand.
Yeah,
right
where
now.
do they stand?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because I think Lindell was the top subject of one of them. And
OAN was forced to apologize, and that's how they got out of it. And they are now like super careful about saying that the Dominion machines were flawed. They're being very careful about that.
Yeah.
And the August date, we found out where that came from. You know how Trump has been saying, "I'll be back in August." And this is how they justify this. This is how they decide that this is a real thing. The pillow guy, his
inventor
crazy
of the pillow carry.
Yeah, Mike Lindell, the pillow guy. His attorneys said we should have something prepared by July, which means we could have it in front of the Supreme Court by July, which means that they would reinstate him in August. That's all.
That's where it comes
That's
from?
where it came from, was the pillow guy and his crazy attorneys who think that they can get something in front of the Supreme Court that quickly.
Well,
that's it.
All right.
And so that's why Trump has been saying, I'll be there by August. But it's also a convenient deadline for the grift. You know.
Anyway. Just one final thing real quickly here. The good news is the pandemic is over, and we know this because Costco is bringing back hot samples this month. So when you go to the Costco, you get your hot samples and
No thanks.
I'll pass.
Well, they're good.
Weather traffic, Gina.
It's no good. It's hot. We could break records today and tomorrow for sure. 97 for a high today. Could be up to 100 tomorrow. We're just in the very incy-weensy parts of June. The hell, Mother Nature. Then we'll cool off to the 90s after that. But, geez. Crash, I-15 southbound, 114 south in Sandy. One car is facing backwards into the left barrier. Emergency crews arrived on the scene and are blocking the HOV lane and left shoulder. Let's see, up in Wasatch County, Main Street and Center Street in Heber, there's an accident blocking the west side of the intersection there. And a crash northbound I-15, 33rd South in South Salt Lake. It is off to the right shoulder. And what do you see? You can text it to us if you see anything, and I'll pass it along at 33986.
All right, here's boner candidate number 3. Couldn't someone have noticed this, a pattern here of some sort? A Washington state-based mother is facing assault and domestic violence charges as authorities accuse her of putting her 6-year-old adopted daughter through unneeded surgeries. And not just a couple. The 6-year-old underwent 473 unnecessary medical procedures.
What the hell?
Where are the doctors? Are the doctors part of this?
Washington prosecutors allege that 31-year-old Sophie Hartman forced the child to undergo at least 473 unnecessary medical procedures, according to charging documents. Ms. Hartman is charged with assault on a child in the second degree and domestic violence. The list of procedures, which the charging document says date back to 2016, include the placement of a feeding tube directly in her stomach, a hormone implant, total parental nutrition to flush her intestines, among other things. Couldn't someone have noticed that there was something bad going on here? Boner candidate number 3.
Let's review the first two and vote.
Let's see. So number 1, they also believe that Donald Trump is still the president. A study shows that nearly half of Americans are convinced that dinosaurs still exist. Okay. Boner candidate number 2, the lizard had it coming. A guy in Florida using the stand your ground defense to say that that's why he attacked this lizard. The lizard was attacking me. That's why I kicked it to death. And boner candidate number 3, couldn't someone have noticed a pattern here?
All right, here we go. This is round 1 of your boner voting. You've got to decide of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day. If it wins here, it's not boner of the day yet, because round 2 comes up at 8:20 with 3 more candidates. We get another winner there. Then we take both winners, put them against each other, and you'll decide between those 2 which one should be boner of the day. You'll do that at 9:20 this morning, so be ready. The work begins now. Let's advance one of these 3 candidates forward to boner fight. 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that single digit in the message of a text and then text it to 33986. Or call the producer's booth at 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Or go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Voting, June 3, 2021, and vote there. You have until the end of these messages. Let's go. It's round 1. Time once again for one of our new regular features. It's called
Hello, Sailor Boys!
I have sailor mail from Festus, who's at boot camp at the Recruit Training Command in Great Lakes, Illinois. It says,
Festus is Gina's son, ladies and gentlemen. Most of you know that, but it doesn't help to reset.
"Hey, Mama, 19 days till graduation. I've been a lot busier the last few days, and being busy makes it more bearable living with 90 18 to 25-year-old males. It's usually hard enough just living with myself. We passed our bunk makeup and personnel inspections almost flawlessly and are currently at the top of our training group."
Now wait, so they inspect their bunk, they inspect their makeup, and they have training sessions. I didn't know they wore makeup.
Apparently.
The camouflage makeup, you know.
Our drill or marching inspection is in 2 days, so we've been marching for at least 2 hours a day to practice for the coming week. Next week, we're going to do guns. You know how much I love guns. USA, USA. And the week after that, firefighting training. We're pretty much on our way to being the cat's pajamas, but like in a cool military way. Last night for dinner, we had pulled pork and potatoes, too, so you could say it could be worse. Yeah. By the way, I think Pulled Pork and Pistols should be the next Clint Eastwood movie, probably if he hasn't died already. Has he? I want to know everyone who's died since I've been here. I missed the news. I really went from 0 to 100 knowing everything that was going on, coming here and knowing diddly squat. So give me the headlines. By the way, I appreciate the friends of the program that have sent me letters telling me what's going on, too. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see you when I get out. And the mountains. I also want to see the mountains. Sorry if you haven't gotten my letters. The Navy's mid-pandemic postal service is not up to par, but I'm getting more of them recently. P.S. I know my handwriting is atrocious, but really, who was expecting any more than that? Love, Festus. I also got a message from his wife yesterday who said, has Festus called you today? No, I haven't talked to him. He hasn't called me the whole time he's been gone. He gets a few phone calls, and they always go to his wife.
Mm-hmm. How long has he been gone now?
He left on July 26th.
Okay.
So, I said, no, he didn't call me today. Why? Is anything wrong? And she said, well, I was driving and I missed his call, and I'm wondering if he called you instead. I said, no, I didn't hear from him. Let me know, because they have scheduled calls, so you're close to your phone when it's supposed to happen. And she texted me a little while later, and she said, well, he was supposed to get a long phone call for me, but someone in his division thought it'd be funny to put shaving cream in somebody else's boot, and so the whole division didn't get their phone call.
Oh,
Really?
Those swabbies. Those jacktars.
Really? This far in, we're still doing stuff like...
That's what you do when you sail the 7 seas.
So they punished the entire unit
Yes.
because one guy?
Yes.
Yes, because you are supposed to be as one.
I don't want to be that one guy.
So
I
can
saw
you
Full
imagine-
Metal Jacket. I know how they take it out on you, you know?
Can you imagine saying, I get to call my wife, I haven't talked to my wife in a week, and I get a 5-minute window of a phone call, and they take it away from me because some jerk in my division decides to fill a boot with shaving cream.
I saw what
That's the
happened.
Navy for you.
I saw what happened to Vincent D'Onofrio in Full Metal Jacket. The socks with soap in them, you know.
Yeah.
And they hold him down, and I don't want to be that guy.
No.
Well, don't join, and don't put cream in anybody's boot.
No.
Well,
Well, I want to thank friends of the program again. I got lots of letters for Festus that I've been printing off and sending to him. And yes, he appreciates the news, as he keeps saying. It would be hard. Like, for us, we do this every day, and we are very involved in the news. Can you imagine being... I know Carrie tries to go on blackout sometimes, but can you imagine being... not even having access to the news if you wanted it? Like, you have no idea.
it would be delightful.
You
Well,
think
yeah, I mean-
so, but it would drive me crazy.
Well, it's like I said, it's because of what I do for a living that I'm paying attention to things. If I was not doing what I do for, this radio show and Geek Show podcast, I wouldn't pay attention to most of that stuff.
Yeah, I would
so-
let a lot of stuff slide.
I think I would just let it all go, you know?
But I had to write him a letter and tell him Chadwick Boseman died.
Oh, you didn't know about that?
You had
No.
to.
Well, no, that's what he wants to know. He's like, I need to know who died. Tell me who died.
Stop. He thinks he wants to know that. Keep it from him. Hide the
think?
ugly truth. How's he going to go on now that he knows that Chadwick Boseman is gone?
And Wilford Brimley. I told him about Wilford Brimley. Mm-hmm. And
Well, that one was okay.
yeah.
Well, this has been
Hello, sailor boy.
on X96.
So if you have a son in the Navy and would like us to read his letters on the air, please send them to Radio from Hell at x96.com.
Follow Bill Allred on Twitter at RFHBill. This is Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, 7:49. Let's award round one of your boners.
Your face really does tell a lot about how you look, doesn't it? Boner candidate number one. Brought to you in part by, what did I do? Oh, I made some stir fry last night, some bok choy and chicken stir fry. So it's brought to you by that.
And the Blocks is downtown Salt Lake. It's time to get out and play again. Come downtown for open streets every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this summer. For more, visit theblockslc.com.
Boner candidate number one. And they also believe that Donald Trump is still the president. Those nearly half of Americans who were surveyed and are convinced that dinosaurs still exist. Boner candidate number two, that lizard had it coming. A guy using the Stand Your Ground defense against, this is in Florida, against, he said, this lizard, I had no choice but to kick it to death. It was menacing me. Judge, I don't think that's going to play.
No.
And boner candidate number three, couldn't someone have noticed a pattern here? A Washington mother accused of forcing her 6-year-old daughter to have hundreds of unnecessary procedures. Couldn't somebody have sort of seen something going on? You'd think.
You'd think.
Bryce won Tracy aviary tickets, and the winner, good voting for all three candidates, but the winner, number three, couldn't someone have noticed this?
There's your winner of round one. It goes forward to Boner Fight. Might be Boner of the Day. Round two happening in a half hour from now. We'll get 3 more candidates and another winner there. Then we'll take both winners and put them against each other. You'll decide Boner of the Day this morning at 9:20. All right, let's get the mayor on the phone here.
Oh, hey, Mayor. How are you?
I'm well. Good morning.
It's Mayor Erin Mendenhall. She's the mayor of Salt Lake City. And I know you want to talk about specific things today, so we'll start with those. If we have time, we'll wedge something else in there. But where do you want to start, Mayor Mendenhall?
Well, it's a great weekend that feels a lot like the good normal that we missed so much last year, because we have the Downtown Farmers Market reopening on Saturday at 8 a.m. And Pride Fest is back this weekend as well.
Oh, great.
So come on downtown, make sure you get your vaccine, and so that we can keep reopening and doing fun things like Downtown Farmers Market and Pride.
Are those little birds we hear in the background there?
I might be outside.
Yeah.
Mayor's out on her back porch. Yeah.
The family's asleep still. Let's talk about the farmers market. Are they? They had it last year, but there were a lot of restrictions and social distancing, and I think they didn't sell any. There were not food stuffs being sold.
No fresh food.
Yeah. So are the restrictions lifted this year?
They are lifted this year, and the artisans are back. That wasn't there last year either.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a back to normal situation. There's still a lot of safety protocols and sanitizing and things like that they'll be doing. But I think for the general shopper, you're going to feel very safe, especially if you've had your vaccine, and that it'll be a full shopping experience.
And you can take your dog, because people seem to like to do that.
But really, why? Why?
I don't know,
think it's
but
one
they
more.
do.
It's one more thing to hold.
Exactly.
I don't
You
get
gotta
it
hold
either.
a leash.
Exactly.
I don't get it either, but people love to take their dogs there.
My hands are full
They
already.
do.
Yeah. So what about Pride this weekend? Now, it's how much of a celebration is it going to be?
Well, there's going to be a rainbow march and rally on Sunday, as there usually is on the first Sunday of June, and that'll start at 10 a.m. at the Capitol. There'll be kind of a rally on the Capitol grounds, and then the march will go down to Liberty Park. Everybody's invited, of course, but the Story Garden and the festival part is at Washington Square there at City Hall, where it traditionally has been. And this is a unique part where the Story Garden that opens today and goes, I think, through June 7th. You can walk through and see and interact with this outdoor exhibit that's about the history and the stories of the communities of LGBTQ in Salt Lake and in Utah. So I'm going to go check it out today for the first time, and I encourage people to go down there. It supports the Pride Center, and they are a fantastic organization. They need our support, and all of that money goes toward them.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you quickly about the. Have you had a chance to look at the shipping container apartment complex?
So I helped to kind of kick it off in the beginning, and I haven't been back since it's wrapping up, but I will be going back to visit. It's a really cool concept. It really takes reuse to the next level and more like 6 levels. So we're excited to see that kind of evolutionary housing happening in Salt Lake City, and I think it's a great concept.
I know. I mean, I know that they were talking about it. I forget the guy's name. He was. It was with the Utah Museum of Contemporary Art years ago, talking about doing this, and finally it's come to fruition. So I think that's kind of cool. I can't wait to go look at it and maybe move in. I don't know.
You could. I think you'd fit right in.
I probably would. As long as it's a ground floor, so I don't have to go up the stairs.
There you go.
Mayor Mendenhall, nice to talk to you, and nice to hear the birds in your yard.
Yeah.
They're quite
Thank you.
vocal, but it's lovely.
It's going to be a hot one, so I figured this is the only time to get outside.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good thinking.
All right. Thanks a lot for talking with us, and we'll see you
Thanks
around
for
the
having
city.
me.
Thank you
All
very
right, happy
much.
Pride.
You too. Bye.
You too. Traffic, please, Gina.
A crash on I-15 northbound at 33rd South in Salt Lake. Cars are on the right shoulder there. Accident I-15 southbound 114 South in Sandy. One car facing backwards into the left barrier. Emergency crews are on the scene and are blocking the HOV lane and left shoulder there. And let's see if anybody sent anything in via text. No, but if you do see something and it's safe for you to send it in to us, I will happily pass it along to friends of the program. You just do that at 33986.
All right. We will take a break. We will be back. Sean Means reviewing movies coming up after these. Also, round 2 of your boners. Stand by. Scott Hale, Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Yeah. Oh man, I hope your air conditioning is working
Today, especially.
today and then the next few days. Scott Hale, he's been offering that tune-up of your furnace and your air conditioning system. I think the price has gone up a little bit, but not much. Yeah, it's gone up $10 for this month. $39 for an AC tune-up, and prices will continue to go up as the temperature does as well. Keep cool. Time to get your home right for these rising temperatures. It's just going to be awful, and your home will be a great refuge for you. So get Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air in there to make sure everything's working okay.
Well, and it winds up in the long run costing you less if you have it, someone come out twice a year and check on it, rather than waiting for it to break down. It just they'll be able to keep an eye on it and keep it going.
So give them a call, Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air, 801-264-HALE. That's 264-HALE. You can go to their website as well. It's scotthale.com. Most people, when you go to a party and someone turns on the TV, the party goes from within about 15 minutes to everybody staring blankly at the television and not talking to each other.
That is true.
So it'll be a good thing to do at the party.
Yeah.
The point of the party, if you're having a TV party, then turn on the TV.
Yeah.
Otherwise, don't.
Yeah.
Is that why your parties don't work?
I don't
Gina?
know.
Could that
I'm not
be it?
good at having parties.
When's the last time you gave a party?
I don't know. What counts as a party? Is having people over a party? Or do you have to have, like, a celebration of something?
No, I think if you invite people over, it's a party. Even if it's a family dinner, it's a family dinner party.
Oh, then we have those all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
And the TV goes on.
No.
After dinner?
No. No TV.
During dinner?
No. Music.
Oh.
That's it. No TV.
I love people who watch TV during dinner and have TVs in their kitchens and stuff. That's just really
Just
odd, I
says
think.
we don't want to talk to each
Yeah.
other ever for any reason.
Yeah, it's just really strange. I knew a family who had a small TV on their dinner table, and they would eat dinner and watch television.
Sitting on the table.
Yeah, sitting on the corner of the dinner table, a small television, and it was on when they ate dinner.
So they never talked to each
No,
other.
not much.
Maybe that kept the fights down.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Now, when we watch TV and eat at the same time, it's because usually we don't have the time to do them both proper. You know,
So then do you take
we
the
have to
food to the
combine.
couch?
Yeah, take the food downstairs.
When I first met my wife, I was not adverse to doing that. I was also not adverse to having a television in the bedroom, and she was against both of those things. And so we have not done them in, I haven't done them in years, and now I can't imagine doing it.
Even
I
having a TV in your bedroom?
No, God, no. No TV in the bedroom.
Why?
Especially not in the bedroom.
Why especially not in the bedroom? You don't
Because
like to get under the covers and...
because it's useless. For me, it's useless. If I had a TV in the bedroom, I mean, when I go in the bedroom and get in the bed, you know what I do? Bonk, sleep. Within 2 minutes, I'm out. And if there was a TV in the bedroom, I would be out within 30 seconds. I mean, it would serve no use. It would just serve absolutely no purpose to me to have a TV in the bedroom.
Got to have a TV in the bedroom.
Do you always watch TV before you go to bed?
No, it gets turned on maybe once a week,
But you gotta have
but
it.
you got to have it. Those Saturday mornings when you wake up and you're not going anywhere and you're just kind of lying there, you're like, oh, let's see what's on.
Yeah.
That'd be
Let's
nice.
watch a little cartoons.
See,
That would be nice.
You know what you need?
You know.
You need what we have is like a cabinet that you can just totally
Yeah,
shut it off.
that's
so
what we have.
So you can
Well, and then
pretend
there's
there's no TV in there until you really
the other
want
reason
one.
you need the TV in the bedroom is, well, the porn. But that's
Well, yeah.
another subject altogether. That
They have porn on TV?
Sure.
You can put the porn on.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You control the vertical. You control the horizontal.
No, the porn controls the vertical.
Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, 8:04 right now. Is this sponsored, Gina?
Yeah, it's a great time to be a geek in Utah. Dr. Volts and the Nerd Store have joined forces. Comics, collectibles, action figures, and so much more. The Nerd Store and Dr. Volts.
Thank you.
Ah, that music can mean only one thing. It's the start of a 70s action TV series. What is this? I forget what this is from.
This is and now, our feature presentation.
And
the old drive-ins.
Yeah, perfect for Sean Means. Sean is, of course, a film critic and writer for the Salt Lake Tribune. You can read Sean's work at sltrib.com, or you can, of course, go to his own website, moviecricket.net, where you will find all kinds of things collected there. Sean, good morning. Have you been to the theater?
Yes, I have, actually. Got to see, not for this week's movie, but for next week, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
What you want to start with the artsies then? It looks like there's one.
We'll start with one artsy. It's called Undine. This is a German romantic drama. Undine is a young museum guide in Berlin, and her boyfriend just broke up with her. And her response is kind of weird. She says that he has two choices: either to come back to her or she'll have to kill him.
Sean,
yeah.
Are you wearing your mask or?
No, I'm not.
So you sound really muffled for some reason.
Oh, I don't know why.
Now
There
that's
we
much
go.
better.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, I
right.
just moved it down. I just moved my phone a little closer. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
There we go.
So two choices: come back to her, or she'll have to kill him. And this may not just be stalker psychosis behavior. This may be that she's the human form of a water nymph, a classic European myth. And that's what makes this movie really interesting, is that it plays with expectations, because it has these fantasy elements to it, but the look and feel of the film is complete realism. It's like completely real until the moment that it's not. And Paula Beer, who plays the main character, she's a really great young German actress, and she really makes you feel the loneliness and the wanting to be loved that this character has.
Cool.
On VOD starting tomorrow, and it's called Undine, and I gave it 3.5 stars.
Wow, I might check that out.
All right.
So
Let's
that's
go
worthwhile.
Let's go to the fartsies then. I guess you didn't see The Conjuring, right?
Yeah, if there was a critic screening for The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, they didn't show it to me. They wouldn't let me in. You talked about this earlier in Geek News. This is part of the it's not just a franchise; it's the Conjuring universe.
Yeah,
that's what they call it, really. And this is the 8th movie, and you have to count the Annabelle movies and the Nun and the Curse of La Llorona, or however you pronounce it. Katie can pronounce it.
La Llorona?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we got it.
All right.
This is back with the original pair, Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, the married paranormal investigators. Supposedly, these were the folks who discovered the Amityville Horror.
Oh, that's right.
And that's where the based on a true story comes in, and basically they get like glommed onto any other supposedly true paranormal whatever. I have no idea if this movie's any good or not. It's going to be on HBO Max starting tomorrow, and it's going to be in theaters.
I think so. You've given some fairly good reviews to some of the other movies in that
The first
series.
ones were pretty good. The first ones were directed by James Wan, who did Aquaman, who later did Aquaman, and they were actually quite good. But the Nun was not so good, and the Annabelle ones are hit and miss. So you pay your money, you take your chances.
All right.
Witnesses.
Witnesses.
Well, first off, we'll do Spirit Untamed.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes. This is a sequel, kind of, to the 2002 animated movie Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron. And if there are any kids weren't alive when this movie came out, so I don't know why they think this sequel is going to be appealing to them.
It's for
Sean.
Gina.
It's for me. It's Matt Damon's a horse.
Matt Damon's a horse. In the original, Matt Damon's a horse. This time, the horses don't talk. They don't even have internal monologues. They don't have. It's about the people. We're focusing on a 12-year-old girl named Lucky. Although maybe not so lucky, because her mom died when she was performing horse riding tricks, and and so she was a baby, and she got sent to go back to the city because it was too unsafe out in the Wild West and so on. But at 12 years old, she comes back to live with her father, And along the way, she meets some wild horses and bonds with one of them, who she calls Spirit. This is a pretty lackluster movie. It's not 100% terrible, but
So it is for Gina.
Completely unnecessary.
Hey.
It is, yeah. And it's apparently it is building off of a series of a TV series that was on Netflix that I have no recollection of its existence. And even after I watched this movie, I have very little recollection of its existence. So it's 2 stars, and it's in theaters. And I don't know why it's in theaters. I don't know why they didn't just do it to Peacock the way they're doing with other movies.
Exactly.
Now, Witnesses.
Right.
Yes.
Witnesses. This is Latter-day Saint cinema. We can't call it Mormon cinema anymore. This is about the early history of the church. Starts with Joseph Smith going into the woods to retrieve the golden plates that the angel Moroni gave him, and very strict rules to keep it hidden from other people. And he finds 3 men who are all recent converts to the church who act as his scribes, taking the dictation that Joseph is translating from the golden plates. And the first half of the movie is focused on Joseph Smith, who's larger than life, charismatic figure, and that doesn't work because it really worked because when you have a character who should be a statue, he doesn't make a good, compelling movie character.
Probably not.
He's larger than life, and larger than life should be put up on a pedestal, should not be, given dialogue. And make him the enigmatic presence in the outside, not the lead. It gets better. The movie gets better in the second half, though, because it leaves behind the details about the golden plates and the translation. All that stuff that people believe in fervently, but if you say it out loud, it sounds kind of silly. About talking about looking into the hat and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, as a legend that works. Watching it in the movies, it just looks kind of,
You have to put on the sacred goggles and all of that stuff.
All the. Well, I don't remember. There weren't goggles, but there was the seer stones and so on. And so the second half is more about the 3 witnesses and how much they had to put up with and had to deal with because they saw, because they believed, because of their faith. And, they dealt with death threats and mob violence and, all this and dissension. When they saw Joseph Smith as a leader of the church, dissension and excommunication and other other details, which is really great drama, and really is really actually the interesting part of the movie. You wish it had been more about that than about the details of Joseph Smith in younger times. I gave it 2.5 stars. It's called Witnesses. It is playing in lots of theaters all around Utah, and it is again one of those movies that's really more for the faithful than for the not faithful.
So is it locally done with local actors or?
Some local actors. It was actually filmed in New York and Canada because they needed to get the look of Palmyra and the East Coast locations. But they also did as with most of these movies, they filmed some of it at This Is the Place Heritage Park as well. So.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
all right.
thank you,
So
Sean. What do we got next week?
Next week we have In the Heights.
Oh, yes.
Lin-Manuel Miranda's the play he wrote before Hamilton.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's great. We'll talk about it next week, but it's going to be fun.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Sean has already seen it, and that's an
I've
early
been reading.
review.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of good things about it. They screened it early, but
all right.
you go.
Thank you, Sean. Go to moviecricket.net or sltrib.com for more from Sean Patrick Means.
all right.
Also, really fast, it's La Llorona.
La Llorona. I was close.
Thank you.
Llorona. La Llorona.
Thank you very much. Traffic, Gina, please.
Friend of the program says, don't even try to get on I-15 from 90th South southbound. Every single direction blocking lanes. You will sit through 7 lights before you even have a prayer.
Okay,
Thank you.
wow.
That's the kind of tip that's helpful. Crash at the bottom of the on-ramp, 35th South to go southbound I-215 West Belt. Cars are on the left shoulder there. Crash I-15 northbound at 33rd South in Salt Lake. Cars are on the right shoulder there. And like that friend of the program did, if it's safe for you to text us traffic, we appreciate it when you do. 33986. This summer, downtown Salt Lake's Main Street will be closed to cars and open to pedestrians Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Restaurants, bars, and shops will extend their service onto sidewalks with music and art each night. Learn more at downtownslc.org/openstreets.
All right.
All right. Boners round 2 coming up. Here are the candidates that you'll be considering. Boner candidate number 1, they saved them from drowning and not one word of thanks. Boner candidate number 2, I was aiming for the dog. And number 3, the majesty of love.
All right. Boners round 2 and big boy news all coming up after these. X96.
The new X96 app allows you to listen to
Thanks a lot for answering our ad. Look, we've got a lot of other people to interview, so we'll just let you know, okay? Loser.
God, what a bunch of no-loads. I mean, we haven't had one single applicant that I'd even consider hiring. Why are they so bad?
I just think it shows you the quality of people who read the paper.
Yeah.
Losers, all of them.
I don't know. Maybe it's the way the ad is worded. How does it read?
I think I wrote it just the way we talked about. Look, here it is.
Okay.
Oh, listen. We need a new stalker. Do you think you have what it takes? If so, apply in person to Kerry and Bill, the Radio from Hell guys at X96. Previous stalking experience is not required. We will train. X96 is an equal opportunity employer.
That's pretty straightforward. Guess I'm just getting discouraged. I don't think we're ever going to find anybody to replace the old guy.
Well, now, we both agreed that no matter how much we liked him, it would just be stupid of us to wait for him to get out.
Oh, all right.
We're just going to have to keep looking.
Okay. Lori, send in the next applicant, please.
Oh, hello, boys.
Hello, Chunga. Send in the next applicant, will you? We're in a hurry.
No, you don't understand. I am the next applicant.
What? Oh my God, you're serious. You want to stalk us?
We.
You're not impressing us by speaking French.
No, I mean we want to stalk you. All 10 of my personalities, including Tina the lap dancer. Let's look at this logically, boys. I'm already on the payroll. I know your phone numbers and where you live. And I can gut and skin a rabbit in less than 2 minutes. And you guys probably don't know this, but I've seen both of you naked. Lots of times. And, well, I love you.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that wasn't bad. What do you think, Bill? He's creeping me out.
Well, let's try the phone test.
Okay.
All right, pretend that it's 3 a.m. There's a thunder and lightning storm going on. My phone rings. I pick it up, and it's you, Chunga. What do you say?
Hello, Bill. Want to go to a jazz game?
No! Doesn't work.
No.
Try again. Phone rings. I pick it up. It's you. What do you say, Chunga?
Bill, it's me, Chunga. Want to go over to Cummings and watch them hand-dip chocolates?
Not even scary. Not scary at all. I'm sorry, Chunga. You just don't have what it takes. Look, send in the next one, would you?
Oh, come on, you guys. I know you don't like all the other stalker candidates. They stink. Besides, there's only one guy left in the lobby, and it's Frank Layton wearing one of his wife's old moo-moos, and his face is smeared with red lipstick.
Red lipstick, huh? Well, send him in.
Mr. Layton, the boys will see you now.
Hello, girls!
Yeah, you listen to Radio from Hell in your car, but listen at home too. Tell your smart speaker to play X96.
Okay, it is 8:21 right now, and we're getting ready here now for round 2 of your boners. 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior, and you will decide with your vote of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to Boner Fight and possibly become Boner of the Day. Winning here does not make it Boner of the Day. It'll have to go up against the winner of round 1's voting. We did that an hour ago, but we'll take both of the winners, one from each round, and put them against each other. You'll vote for Boner of the Day at 9:20 this morning. That's when you'll decide it. So right now, pick one of these 3 from this, round 2, to send forward. 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, then you will vote, and one of you lucky random Boner voters will receive.
You need new clothes. You're leaving the house. You got to look nice. Maybe you'll win a can't buy it, gotta win it Radio from Hell Boner t-shirt.
Here's Boner candidate number 1. They saved them from drowning and not one word of thanks. A boat carrying a group of people who were reportedly harassing a family for having LGBTQ plus pride flags spontaneously blew up over the weekend in Washington State. Video of the incident, which took place on Moses Lake, went viral. These people harassed my family because we were flying a gay pride flag, the user wrote. And then their boat literally blew up. The TikTok video showed the group approaching the family's boat with various people on board holding up their middle fingers. Their boat is seen billowing with smoke. Seconds later, large flames shooting out as the passengers jump in the water and swim in the water with their life vests on. According to BuzzFeed, the occupants of the burned boat swam to the boat that they had been harassing for safety. The incident took place a few days before the start of Pride Month. The person who filmed the encounter posted another video on Tuesday showing them back on the water with their rainbow flag flying again. We're back at it again. We will not hide our pride. But they said, so they pulled these people out of the water, and by this time the Coast Guard or a patrol boat comes along, and these people get off the gay pride boat and onto the rescue boat from the Coast Guard or the patrol, and he said they didn't say one thing. They didn't thank us for pulling them out of the water. Nothing.
Wow.
They saved them from drowning, and not
typical,
one word
actually.
of thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, and they asked them if they believed dinosaurs were real, and they said yes. Boner candidate number 2. I was aiming for the dog. A 5-year-old was accidentally hit by one of 3 bullets his mother fired that were intended to hit a dog across the street. This is it.
There's a lot going on with that sentence right there.
There are many boners.
This is in Houston,
within
Texas.
This one boner.
Mother's been charged with accidentally shooting her 5-year-old son while trying to shoot a dog that was running across the lawn. The incident happened Saturday, doesn't matter. Angelia Mia Vargas has been charged with deadly conduct with a firearm. According to the neighbor, Vargas, her son, and another family member were riding bikes down the street when the dog ran out. The dog, named Bruno, Gina, named Bruno.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad they added that.
6-month-old boxer puppy. Bruno's owner didn't want to appear on camera but told us what happened. I came out of my house because Bruno was barking, and I thought my brother was coming. And then I open the door just a little bit, and I see he comes running out. The Ring doorbell video, you can see Bruno running out with the owner following immediately. The owner can be seen telling the dog to come back. The dog roams out into the street, and less than a second later, multiple shots ring out. Gunshots that were then followed by extended screaming by the little boy's parents. The 5-year-old son was rushed to the hospital in stable condition with non-lethal, non-life-threatening wounds, fortunately. And the woman said, I didn't mean to do it. I was aiming for the dog.
Well, that's not any better. Again, this is a multi-layer.
Didn't Texas just recently make their gun laws even more lax now?
Yeah. Anybody can.
So, right, and I was
Anybody can
aiming
carry
for
them.
I was aiming for the dog.
Yeah, more responsible gun ownership.
Exactly.
Boner candidate number 2. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3, the majesty of love.
Boner candidate number 3 for round 2 coming up after this. Big Boy News and Opinioendo brought to you by.
Feel the music as computer graphics and lasers take you for a cosmic ride. Clark Planetarium's light shows play every Friday and Saturday. Tickets are available at clarkplanetarium.org.
Quentin Tarantino has long promised that his 10th movie would be his last movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he said in a podcast released this week that he hopes to avoid the common director curse of going out with a horrible film.
Mm-hmm.
In an interview on the podcast Pure Cinema podcast, the esteemed director joked that he might quit while he's ahead and go out with a bang instead of a whimper. Most directors have horrible last movies, Tarantino said. Usually their worst movies are their last movies. That's the case for most of the Golden Age directors. They ended up making their last movies in the late 60s and 70s, and then ended up being the case for most of the new Hollywood directors as well. He said, and the point he made was he pointed to Bonnie and Clyde, directed by Arthur Penn, as a prime example. And Bonnie and Clyde is a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm not a super fan of that director, but that movie is a good movie. His last movie, however, is Penn and Teller Get Killed.
That's true, yeah. It was bad.
And it's a metaphor for how crummy most of the new...
But I would say this, though. I don't know that all the great directors were able to plan what their last movie is. I mean, that's
I think in Arthur Penn's case, he probably took what was offered. Nobody wanted him.
I mean, Quentin Tarantino has been saying this for a long time. He had a definite plan for what he... I don't know that most directors think...
Well, and
that.
If that is Quentin's plan, then he should not make any more movies, because Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was terrific.
It was great.
Yeah, so anyway, we'll see.
I was curious to see what he was going to do with Star Trek, because he wrote a script and everything, and that was almost going to go forward, but it didn't.
By the way, Quentin Tarantino praises a director that he says this guy is always top notch. Tony Scott. He said Tony Scott directed True Romance, which was Quentin Tarantino's script.
Yes.
And then he said he also directed this top-notch, wonderful film, which I just recently rewatched with my family, Unstoppable. It's the runaway train movie.
Is it the train movie? Yeah.
And it's really good.
Huh.
And Tarantino has talked at length about his admiration for Unstoppable. So, anyway. Let's see. Anthony Fauci.
Yes.
A bunch of his emails have been released through the Freedom of Information Act.
Aha!
And he dismissed some revelations that he was warned at the start of the pandemic that COVID-19 may have been engineered. He said on Wednesday that the emails were really ripe to be taken out of context. Fauci made his comments in an interview with News Nation. News Nation Now's anchor Leland Verdrell. And he admitted, I can't guarantee everything that's going on in the Wuhan lab, he said. Fauci, who is considered America's top expert on infectious disease, also explained why scientists focus their theories on the natural transmission from bats to humans through an intermediary species. The interview comes after all of these emails were released. It shows that leading virus experts warned Fauci that COVID-19 may have been created in a lab. He publicly played those claims down, I think wisely.
Yeah.
because there was
just
no
not enough
real
proof.
proof.
No, if you're a scientist, you don't come out until you know, and so you forget that these emails happened months and months and months and months ago, and we've learned more as we've gone on, and you can't read them like you have the knowledge today because things have evolved since
Yes.
then.
Last month, Republican lawmakers here in Utah, decried critical race theory, an academic approach that examines how race and racism function in American institutions. Folks, we're in a cultural warfare today,
No, we're not.
said Representative Ralph Northam. He's a Republican from South Carolina.
Oh, Ralph.
He and 6 other members of the Republican House Freedom Caucus. Critical race theory asserts that people with white skin are inherently racist.
No,
Not because of their actions, words, or what they actually believe in
that is not
in
what
their
it
hearts,
teaches.
but by virtue of the color of their skin.
And it's
That is
not
not-
being taught in elementary
Yeah.
and high school.
Well, and that's not what
it's
it
not a
teaches.
thing.
And that's not what it teaches.
No.
None of those things are true. He's just whipping up the locals, you know.
You Democrats want to teach our children to hate each other.
We're not.
Why would we want to do that?
Because
not.
you're
Why?
Democrats.
What would be the point? of
Because
doing
I've got to yell this to the sky so that people keep donating to my campaign because hate sells.
You Democrats, you don't need a reason to do bad stuff.
No?
Yeah, we're just inherently evil. It's
that
something that
doesn't
they
make
teach, you know.
sense.
So every valedictorian, you do a speech at your high school graduation. And you hear this girl in
Yep.
Texas.
In Texas.
I just listened to it this morning. Yeah.
So she had her speech. You have to submit it, and they look at it and make sure that you're not saying anything controversial. And so her name is Paxton Smith, valedictorian of Lake Highlands High School, class of 2021. And she submitted her speech. They said good, and then she just chucked it and talked about Texas abortion law.
Well, because it had just changed.
Yeah.
She felt compelled. She's like, I can't read the speech I wrote. She didn't do it on purpose. She didn't I'm going to write this separate. It was that the news had come out in the interim, and she's like, I can't read this original speech I wrote. I have to talk about abortion rights in Texas.
She says
she's awesome. I retweeted it if you want to listen to the video.
It's pretty good, and she talks about 6 weeks. She said most women don't even know they're pregnant at 6 weeks, and she did it pretty much extemporaneously, and it's very good. So check it out.
And I was happy just that she was applauded and cheered, and there weren't people booing her or trying to get her off the stage.
So here's a story for you, Gina.
Yeah.
Hoarder Bruce Roberts.
Okay.
Lived in a house with a dead body for over 10 years.
Yeah.
A man whose remains were discovered inside the home of this Australian hoarder had been fatally shot during a robbery attempt, and then his body left to decompose for 15 years among the piles of detritus that filled the home. The grisly details were revealed in findings from a May inquest stemming from the 2017 discovery outside Sydney, according to News.com. Mr. Roberts shot and killed Shane Snellman after Snellman broke into his home
and then junk,
and then just left him there. He got a bunch of air fresheners.
What it smelled like.
Well, he got a bunch of air fresheners, so it was probably okay. It was the smell of a rotting corpse combined with pine tree scent, and he finally died. The hoarder did, and that's when they discovered he'd been living with this mummified body for all these years. Half of the decomposing corpse was found in the hallway, and the upper portion was in a room slumped over a heater. Now so he'd been trying to char some of it for some reason.
God.
Crazy. All right, but you can get Cinnamon Toast Crunch cookie dough now.
I will today. Where?
It's being released. Pillsbury's going to release it soon
at a store near you.
Okay. All right, sports, weather, traffic.
The Utah Jazz are headed to the conference semifinals after beating the Memphis Grizzlies 126-110 in a wire-to-wire victory. Bill was there for the whole thing. He hopped on the bandwagon and enjoyed the...
It wasn't really a nail-biter. It was
No,
pretty...
it was not.
And Radio from hell. Fair weather fans, as long as the Jazz are winning. Go Team X96.
And I wanted to go to bed when they were up by 32 points, but I was worried about jinxing them because those things are real. There's science.
Yep.
There's the science of jinx. And we don't know who they're playing next because it will either be the Dallas Mavericks or the Clippers, depending on how that series shakes out. So the Jazz get a little bit of a rest, which is good news. It's not good news to tell you how hot it's going to be the next couple of days. 97 potentially for a high today. Could get up to 100 tomorrow. We are just in the early parts of June. It's too early for such matters. Then we dip down and cool off into the 90s for the rest of the weekend. So it's going to be hot for a while. Let's see if traffic is an issue for you this morning. I'm going to refresh my UDOT website here quickly.
Better not be.
No? Well, you're not going anywhere.
Oh, that's
right. Crash northbound at 158 South. I didn't even know you could go to 158 South. Where is 158 South?
It's just a little bit south of 157th South.
I didn't know that was possible.
Just a little south of that.
But yeah, southbound I-15 looks like it's a little sketchy in that area as well. And let me check our message stream, see if friends of the program have sent in any traffic for us. I appreciate it when you do that. 33986, just make sure it's safe for you to text. And nope, there's nothing there. But if you do see something, you can always send it in. Are you searching for Pokemon? Locally owned Haster Games has the best selection of Pokemon, Dungeons & Dragons, Magic, and more. Shop online at hastergames.com or visit the store. 6831 South State. Curbside service is available.
Here's boner candidate number 3. The Majesty of Love. John Hinckley Jr., the gunman who attempted to assassinate President Ronald Reagan in a bid to win the favor of Jodie Foster, has traded his six-shooter in for a guitar, racking up thousands of views on YouTube with his guitar renditions of sentimental love songs. Hinckley, who is now 66 years old, won a lengthy court battle last year, freeing him to publicly display his music, his writings, and other art, and potentially make a living in the recording industry. He's terrible. Since Hinckley has published half a dozen videos to YouTube, bearing his real name, starting with a performance of an original composition entitled Majesty of Love. When every couple settles down, goodness will be found. This is the majesty of love, he sings, over a bright acoustic guitar strumming. The world is still in so much pain, but we have so much to gain. This is the majesty of love. Boner candidate number 3, the majesty of love.
All right, let's review the first two and vote.
Boner candidate number 1. They saved them from drowning, and not one word of thanks. 2 boats out on the lake, one displaying a gay pride flag, the other boat full of louts who yelled at them and flipped them off and decried their support of LGBTQ. And then all of a sudden, the boat full of louts caught fire. And they had to abandon ship, and they had on life jackets, but there was nowhere for them to swim but to the gay pride boat, which they did. The gay pride people pulled them in. Then a rescue boat came along, and they got off and got on the rescue boat. Not one word of thanks.
Jerks.
Yeah. Boner candidate number 2. I was aiming for the dog. It's a mother who was charged with shooting her 5-year-old son, injuring him. He's not dying. She injured him, but she was trying to shoot a dog that was on the loose across the street. she just misaimed. Come on, give her a break. And boner candidate number 3, you just heard that one, The Majesty of Love.
All right, you've got to decide of these 3 candidates which one is the worst. Which one deserves to go forward to Boner Fight and possibly become Boner of the Day? Winning here does not make it Boner of the Day, you see. If it wins here, it'll go up against the winner of round 1's voting. We did that an hour ago. We'll take both of those winners and put them against each other, and you'll decide Boner of the Day for real at 9:20 this morning. That's when Boner Fight happens. So right now, you've got to decide. This is round 2. Which one of these 3 should go forward to Boner Fight? 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number. The one that you think should win. Put that single digit in the message of a text, and then text that to 33986. Or you can call the producer's booth at 877-602-9696. Or you can go online, x96.com, look for the box that says Boner Voting June 3, 2021, and vote there. You have until the end of these messages. This is round 2.
All of the Beat Gina topics have been specifically chosen for their relevance and entertainment value, and all of the answers have been thoroughly vetted and researched, and anyone who says different is itching for a fight. And now, let's welcome the host of Beat Gina. He's the sharp-witted and fashion-forward man of the hour, the one and only, because they broke the mold when they made him, Kerry Jackson.
Thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome, Kerry Jackson.
Thanks for coming up out of the basement to keep score with us.
You're welcome.
Every Thursday.
My pleasure.
All right, let's. We do have a full phone bank, but during the break we talked about who we're going to pick to be a contestant, and Gina has decided that Hank is going to be the contestant. Thanks for the other 2 people who called. We appreciate it. Hank said that if Gina beats him, that he will go to Squatters, just a block away from us. Moochie's. Oh, was it Moochie's? I thought it was Squatters.
Moochie's, meatballs and more.
Several locations of Moochie's. Yes.
Several locations of Moochie's, meatballs and more.
All right. Well, thank you, Hank. All right, Hank. The movie is Hocus Pocus. That's the trivia topic. And how we determine who goes first is a simple coin toss. So I would like you to tell me heads or tails, and I'll use the coin toss app to determine it.
Let's go heads.
Heads? All right, let's see what happens. All right, coin toss app says heads. You go first.
Oh, man.
That gives you an advantage in the game, Hank. Here's how it works. Your question goes first. You get a chance to answer it exclusively with no interference. If you get it right, you get the point. If you get it wrong, Gina gets a chance to answer it and steal your point away. We'll go back and forth until we have somebody with 3 points. That will be the winner of the game. All right, here we go. Hank, here's your question.
The excitement is so thick you can cut it with a spoon.
Hank, what was the final ingredient for the life-sucking potion? What was the final ingredient for the life-sucking potion? Was it A chocolate coating? The chocolate coating makes it go down easier. B, eyes of newt. C, a bit thine own tongue. Or the final ingredient for the life-sucking potion, D, open the schools. Masks or muzzles. Do your research, sheeple.
Let's go B.
B, eyes of newt. Incorrect, Gina.
C.
C, a bit thine own tongue. There you go.
Well, the score is 1-0 for Gina, and Gina controls the question. A chance to sort of really command the game with this one.
All right, let's pick a good one here for Gina. All right, here we go. What do the sisters use to fly after their brooms are stolen? What do the sisters use to fly after their brooms are stolen? Was it A, a single-engine Piper Cub powered by a tremendous sense of self-satisfaction? B, a broom, a mop, and a vacuum. C, a Swiffer sweeper, a Swiffer wet jet, and a Swiffer duster. Product placement is key. Or D, took a cab.
That'd be B.
Oh, a broom, a mop, and a vacuum. Very good.
All right, it's 2-0 for Gina. Hank now controls the question. Hank has a chance to get back into the game with this one.
All right, Hank, let's go here. What was the name of the high school that Max and Allison attends? What was the name of the high school? Was it A, Rydell High School, B, Halloween Town High, C, East High, or D, Jacob Bailey High School?
Oh, man. Let's go B.
B, Halloween Town High?
Yeah.
That is incorrect, Gina.
Well, it's not Rydell, of course. That's the Grease High School. Everybody knows that. Is it D?
D, Jacob Bailey High School is correct, and by golly.
Well, it was a sweep. I'm
Hey.
sorry, Hank. Sorry, Hank. You screwed the pooch, as they say.
Yeah. My bad.
Zero points.
You guys are the best.
Oh, Hank, you're going to go to Moochie's, right, and get some lunch? Get some
Yes.
meatballs or more?
Get the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls, I'm telling you. Delicious.
I'll try
If you're
those.
going to do that,
They're
Hank, why don't we
questionable, but now I'll try them.
why don't we give you a tote bag so you have something to carry all your meatballs in? How about that?
Well, no, he's going to.
Thank you, Gina.
Gina, he's going to go. He's going to go before he'll ever be able to get the tote bag. I hope.
Well, there will be meatballs in the future that need to be
that's
toted.
It's
Thank you, guys.
It's often cloudy with a chance of meatballs. All right, I'm gone. Goodbye, Hank.
Oh,
nice
Johnny.
hearing your voice, Hank.
Thank you,
and
Hank.
hang on the line, Hank, and I'm going to go away now.
We'll get you on hold, and you can. We'll get your information for the tote bag.
Radio from Hell on X96.
All right. Let's award round 2 of your boners.
And that's brought to you in part by a slushie.
You are obsessed with these slushies.
I am.
And this summer, downtown Salt Lake's Main Street will be closed to cars and open to pedestrians Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Restaurants, bars, and shops will extend their service onto sidewalks with music and art each night. Learn more at downtownslc.org/open streets.
Boop, 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 boop. So we had boner candidate number 1. They saved them from drowning, and not one word of thanks. The people who were harassing the boat that had a gay pride flag on it, then their boat sinks, the harasser's boat sinks, and they swim to the gay pride boat, and they pull them out of the water and help them, and then a rescue boat comes along and takes them off the gay pride. And they didn't say thanks to not one word of thanks.
Because they're jerks. It actually is right on brand for them, so it makes sense.
Then boner candidate the sailors on the USS Jerk. That's right. Boner candidate number 2 was I was aiming for the dog. It's a mother charged for shooting her 5-year-old son while she was trying to hit a dog that was across the street. And then boner candidate number 3, the majesty of love. John Hinckley Jr., Ronald Reagan's would-be assassin, trying to make money off of being a singer of love and peace and harmony. Let's see, Adam won the boner T-shirt, and the winner, really strong voting for number 1 and number 2, but ultimately the winner was boner candidate number 2, I was aiming for the dog.
There's your winner of round 2. It goes forward. It now faces off against the winner of round 1. We'll take them both and put them against each other at 9:20. You'll decide between those 2 champions which one is boner of the day at 9:20. All right, I think we got Gerke on the phone, right?
It's noted Salt Lake Tribune columnist Robert Gerke.
We've noted it here.
Yeah.
Gerke!
I feel so noted, you guys. Thank you.
Hey, I was looking at Twitter this morning, and you were you at the Jazz game last night, or just listening to commentary?
I was just watching it. And got into a little back and forth with Dave Locke. It was probably a dumb thing to do, but that's what I do.
Oh no, it's never a bad thing to get into it with David Locke. Never. So what was the gist of the argument between the two of you?
Oh, he had made a comment a couple times on the post game show that it wasn't a close series, and I made the point that were it not for the Jazz pulling away in games 3 and 4, it could have been looking very different for them. But they did. It was great. It was a great series. It was fun to watch, and I think Memphis played above their heads for a number 8 seed. So,
to speak a little bit above this whole thing, I think you mentioned the word homer. Or he did, one of the two. So when somebody is announcing a ball game, do you like it when they're homers, or that you can tell that they're rooting for the home team while trying to call the game?
I think it can be a little grating, especially when it turns into, like I felt like in this case, diminishing a team that played pretty well. I mean, I thought Memphis played a lot better than we expected them to coming in, and so. The Jazz were the better team, but give them a little bit of credit at least. So, yeah, Dave took exception. A lot of his fans took exception. So there was a little back and forth.
Getting into the sports arguments is never a win-win.
I was going to say,
but it's actually nice to be arguing about sports instead of politics.
But that's so unlike Dave Locke. He's so known for just letting things go, never holding a grudge. I don't understand this at all.
I've never had an interaction with him before now, but yeah, I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way at the time. I probably should have kept my mouth shut, but here we are.
Well, you can't keep your mouth shut. You're a columnist, Robert.
That's right.
I'm supposed to. I've got a big mouth. I'm supposed to use it. So,
what's bugging you right now? Besides that, I mean, what's on your mind? What's really bugging you?
Well, yeah, I think I think one of the columns I wrote this week actually was about the Jazz, and it was talking about these racist comments that were made by Jazz fans and to Ja Morant's parents in game 2. And I just, I think, look, we like the Jazz. I know you guys like the Jazz when they're winning, so you like them today.
When they're winning,
yes.
Yeah. So, but I think I think what this latest episode showed is just how they're kind of a conscience for our city. They kind of challenge the city and the state and, white people who look like me, who are fans, to confront some of these issues that we might otherwise not be front and center in our minds. And I just, it's kind of different than this team has been in the past. Back in the Karl Malone days, they didn't really do a whole lot of that. But I think the response to this latest episode was important. I think that what they do with the scholarship program that they took some heat for is really important. I think what players like Donovan Mitchell say on these issues. He's been very outspoken. I think we got to listen to that, and I think they're doing a service for the city in the state by challenging us on this stuff.
This new owner Ryan Smith. He seems to have a pretty good idea about how to the public relations of all of this. I think he seems to have.
Yeah, I think so, and I think he brought Ja Morant's dad to the last game. They sat courtside, and I think that's a powerful symbol. And I think and I respect the way Ryan didn't back down during the flap over the scholarship program. I mean, that made national news. Tucker Carlson was beating up on him for it, beating up on Spencer Cox for it. They stuck to their guns. So I mean, I think that's to their credit.
Yeah, the whole argument was, well, why are you just helping out these kids
why
of
can't
color?
you give white kids
why can't you give white kids scholarships? It's just
but
such
you guys talked about it on here. I think the videos that were posted of the players and notifying these kids that they got the scholarships, and if you didn't watch that, if you weren't moved by watching that, you've got a harder heart than I do, because I thought it was pretty remarkable stuff.
It is true when you say that these guys are good spokespersons for our community, the Jazz players, because you didn't get the sense that they were making those phone calls because Coach says we have to.
No, they were genuine.
They really wanted to do
yeah.
it. They wanted to contact these kids and inform them that they'd gotten these scholarships, and I think the Jazz players were really, as you would say, on point as they did that.
Yeah.
And if I can throw something else in about what happened with Morant's parents at the last game, there were good Jazz fans that were willing to stand, and that's what we need more of. Good people that are willing to stand up and say, hey, what you're doing isn't right, and we're calling the security, and we're going to get you taken out of the stadium, and we need more allies, more of that.
Yeah. And I think there were a couple brothers who posted video of them buying T. Morant, Jaw's dad, a beer, and I guess T bought the next round. I think you can be competitive without being, dismissive or controversial or demeaning or racist or all of those things. I think that's what sports is about is sportsmanship. So, I think the Jazz did a good job in handling that. So now on to round two.
Perfectly fine to boo the other players, but also perfectly fine to applaud them when they make good plays as well.
Exactly.
You can't deny good athleticism no matter who does it. So
it's fun to watch even if it's the other team that's doing well. So yeah, gotta respect it. So
all right,
that's why we teach kids all the way through Little League. So yeah.
All right, Robert, nice to talk to you. We'll check in with you again probably next week, and have a nice weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. You too.
Thank you, Robert. Traffic, please, Gina.
Yeah, for drivers I-15 northbound trying to leave Springville, there's a crash just after Center Street in Provo. All the lanes are blocked. Traffic is squeezing by on the right shoulder. Traffic is quickly backing up to Springville, so that's an issue for folks down there. We also have, crash at the bottom of the on-ramp, 35th South to go southbound I-15 on the west side belt. Crash northbound I-15, 90th South in Sandy. This has been an issue for a bit. We've heard from a few friends of the program about that. Crash southbound I-15, 105th South in Sandy. And let's see if anybody sent anything in via text at 33986. Nope, but that's the place you do it. If you see something you want to share it, go ahead and send it in, and I will pass it along. That's traffic.
All right, thank you very much. We will take a break. We will be back. We've got Boner Fight on the way to determine who is Boner of the Day, a reasonable amount of news, and more coming up. KXRK Provo.
Here's your list. This is, you got the intro there, you want to do that? Or
Yeah, let me just give me a second. It's
here. A list of 34 cereals that are no longer on the shelves.
It's Radio from Hell with another list, because people love a good list. X96.
Now, if you want to ask, it'll tell you the years that it was available. I'm not going to give that for everyone, and the manufacturer and a description of the taste. Okay. There's Vanilla Crunch.
Yes, I remember this.
You remember that?
That sounds good.
It was delicious.
So it was birthday cake flavored Captain Crunch balls, essentially. Pink Panther Flakes.
I remember those. That was also a good cereal. Good prizes in that one too.
Fruit Brute.
Yes, delicious. Actually, of the Monster cereals, probably the best one.
Was it like Fruity Pebbles?
Fruit flavored cereal pieces with lime flavored marshmallows.
Yeah.
Moonstones.
I remember those.
That's from the Ralston Purina Company. Yeah.
As I recall, it was just a crunchy golden cereal, as I recall.
Let's see. Fruit flavored. No, it says fruit flavored. Oh. Space-shaped cereal of stars, half moons, and planets.
Okay, yeah.
Donkey Kong Crunch.
I remember that, yes.
Strawberry honeycomb. That's sort of... That's you know what that is, because I think they still have honeycombs. Pac-Man cereal.
Yes.
Smurf Berry Crunch.
Had that, yes.
They don't have Smurf Berry Crunch anymore?
Mr. T cereal. Remember that?
Delicious, yes.
I remember this one.
Golden-shaped letter T's.
Yeah. I think I have a box of this in my drawer at work. C-3POs.
Also delicious. Very good cereal. It was like, little eights put together that were golden and sweet.
Honey sweet oat wheat corn cereal. Tasted, it said basically like Lucky Charms without the marshmallows. Ghostbusters cereal.
Yes.
Nerds cereal.
Too sweet for me.
Rainbow Bright cereal.
Did not have that one.
Spider-Man cereal.
Had that. Yes. Delicious.
Yummy Mummy.
Yummy Fruity Mummy. Yes.
Smurf Magic Berries.
What made the magic?
I want to know what were the berries. What?
They're magic.
Morning Funnies. Ever heard of that one?
Don't know that one.
1988 to 1989. Didn't last very long. It was a fruit-flavored cereal shaped like goofy faces in a box covered with comics.
No.
Oh, yeah, the comics from the newspaper on the box. Oh, okay, yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts cereal.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cereal.
Yes.
Which they tasted like turtle. Batman cereal.
Remember Batman cereal? Yes, a golden
Breakfast
sweet
with Barbie.
Did not see that one.
That was a multigrain fruit-flavored cereal in shape of hearts, bows, cars, stars, and the letter B from 1989 into the early 90s. Bill and Ted's Excellent Cereal.
I never had that. I should have had that.
Tiny Toon Adventures cereal.
Vaguely remember that.
Cinnamon Mini Buns.
I remember those.
The Addams Family cereal.
That was actually a good cereal.
That's it. No, not according to this. It says spooky-shaped cereal with a memorable lack of flavor.
No, it had cinnamon in it, as I recall.
Lack of flavor.
I remember eating it. I thought it was delicious.
Well, that's. I mean, you may have liked it, and that's WWF Superstars.
Don't remember that one.
Vanilla-flavored star-shaped cereal. Jurassic Park Lost World Crunch.
Don't remember that one either.
Reptar Crunch. Whatever.
Reptar?
Reptar.
Reptar is the cartoon character from the Rugrats cartoon. Reptar was like their Godzilla, yes.
And that was a Post cereal. Homer's Cinnamon Donut cereal.
I remember this. It was yummy.
Bart's Peanut Butter Chocolate Crunch.
Don't remember that one.
Monopoly cereal.
Don't remember that.
Who wants to eat
Fiber.
Monopoly cereal?
People who love the game Monopoly. Fiber Plus Berry Yogurt Crunch.
Ugh.
No.
Cupcake Pebbles.
Don't remember
And
that
Sesame Street C is for cereal.
C is for cereal. That's
remember
good
that one
enough for me.
There were so many left out there.
Well,
you had Vanilla Crunch at the beginning, which is a Captain Crunch related cereal. But there was Jean Lafitte's Cinnamon Crunch that was a Captain Crunch cereal. Jean Lafitte being the pirate bad guy in the cartoons of Captain Crunch, and he got his own cereal. It was delicious.
Yeah, it says here that there are many others, but
yes.
some of them, they were just like limited releases for movies. They didn't. A lot of these they intended them to go on, and then they didn't. Because why couldn't you have a Batman cereal even today? I mean,
exactly. C-3POs were delicious too.
I bought a real cereal yesterday.
What?
Grape Nuts.
That's
Post Grape
Are you
Nuts.
going to eat that on the air? Because it's really noisy when you eat the Grape Nuts on the air.
I don't know.
Buy
Maybe
you a quieter cereal.
If I had not known that it bothered you so much, I wouldn't have done it. But
Yeah,
now,
softer cereal. Oatmeal. How about oatmeal?
I'll eat some mush,
some cream of wheat,
some muesli,
some malto meal.
Yeah.
Chocolate flavor malto meal.
I don't intend on eating the grape nuts on the air because if you kind of suck in a little bit and one of them gets lodged in your throat, it's a disaster.
It'll do it.
We hope you'd enjoyed another list with Radio.
Because on this day.
In 1968, Samantha Sprackling. She sounds British, doesn't she? It's because she is. She's with the English alternative rock band Republica, who had that 1997 hit, also featured in the trailer for Captain Marvel. It's Ready to Go. The band is Republica.
Let's see. Staff in the chat room did the research on Republica.
Yeah.
That song has been in 18 movies and TV shows and 13 commercials.
Yeah.
So they're doing okay.
It's a thing.
They
They
got
only
paid.
need to do the one. Samantha's fine.
Mm-hmm.
They only needed to do the one song.
There have been many different versions of it as well.
Conversely, Ivy says this music reminds me of phone hold music when I call the bank. I don't know which bank she's calling, but
what?
I don't know.
What bank would? What?
Who knows? Who knows?
I was just watching the video. Now it says the lead singer is Saffron. Jumping on the Roof of a Building was released in 1996.
Maybe that was her stage name, because it says Samantha Sprackling, singer with the. Maybe she's not the lead singer. Maybe she's a singer.
Maybe a singer.
That Republica didn't. I mean, that's about the only mark they made on the world was that song, right?
Kinda.
Yeah. And it, if you look at the critical, critics talking about it, well, a lot of them don't like it. They didn't like it. They don't care for it.
Samantha Sprackling, commonly known as Saffron, a Nigerian English singer-songwriter and lead singer of Republica.
And I'm sure she's laughing all the way to the bank and doesn't care what the critics think.
I like that song.
Maybe she's laughing at the bank that Ivy banks at.
Maybe, the one where it's
must
on
be.
hold.
Yeah.
I wonder how much she gets for every time she's heard on hold music.
I wish that somebody would give. I think it was Liberace who originally said, "I'm laughing all the way to the bank."
Scott.
I wish somebody would give Liberace residuals for that.
Oh, Scott.
I'm laughing all the way to the bank. You can just hear him say it, can't you?
Yep. All right. Well, we'll take a break. We will be back with Boner Fight.
Okay.
And a reasonable amount of news. All coming up after this. Tracy Aviary. Now, here's the thing. Tomorrow will be the first time that we are together doing a show. I mean, like right now, we're all in our houses, and Katie's in the studio, but this is the first time that the three of us, Katie will still be in the studio for this one, but the three of us will be doing a show together, and we're doing it at Tracy Aviary. Here's a couple of things that a couple of things to keep in mind when getting ready for this show. First of all, start doing the math backwards now to figure out when you need to leave home.
I know. I started doing that yesterday.
We haven't done that. I have to do it sooner because I've got a very important piece of equipment that needs to be there. And secondly, does anybody remember how to drive in the dark? Because I don't.
No.
Well, just head to Liberty Park. That's where Tracy Aviary is. And we're going to be doing our whole show there, but you can come starting at 8 a.m. They're going to open a little bit early, but they want you to know that their daily bird shows are back Tuesdays through Sundays, 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. You can get nose to beak with amazing birds.
Yes, you can. Tracy Aviary, of course, located at Liberty Park, 13th South and 6th East. They're open every day, 9 to 5. Mondays, I think they stay open till 8 for some reason. Then they have discount passes and all of that. But it's a great place to just hang out, and the birds are beautiful. Tracy Aviary.
So come and see us at Tracy Aviary tomorrow morning, X96.
How do you feel about hot water bottles?
No, I don't have a lot of experience with those. Although it seems to my grandmother always had one hanging on the back of the bathroom door with a hose on it.
That wasn't a hot
Oh, it wasn't?
It wasn't?
Well, what was it?
Oh.
was
Really?
red rubber
Yeah, that wasn't a hot
with a
water.
hose
Really?
on it.
No.
Wait a minute, she just left that out?
What was that for?
You really don't know?
I just want you to tell me. I might know, but
It's something that's not recommended anymore that women do.
Oh.
Don't-
Well, I think
that's what that
no,
was.
I think
that
it was
not
all-
a hot water
I
bottle.
think it was also used for enemas. They used them for enemas, I think, as well.
Sure.
But it was the same thing, right? It was the hot water. You could take the hose off.
I don't think you should
I think it
use
was the
it for
same-
all of those things.
Well, I think it was the same deal. You could take the hose off, and there was a stopper. I think.
This really disturbs me because I thought it was just a hot water
No.
bottle. It was like at my aunt's house.
Nope.
And I saw that. She just left that
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, they always used to be hanging on the back, right?
I mean, she knew that we
It's
were
so-
coming to visit.
So they can dry them out. You
Yeah.
got to hang them
What are you
up.
just leaving
like,
that out for?
They were always on a hook on the back of the
People are
bathroom
coming
door.
to visit you.
It was the custom
Of
of
the
the time. Back in the day, that's what they did.
Don't do.
But I think they also used them as hot water
I hope
bottles.
not.
I'm going to look it up. I'll look it
If your
up.
grandma ever handed you a hot water bottle, I hope it was something
Hey,
different.
even if it was an enema bag, all right? Why did she leave that out? She knew that we were coming to visit. You put stuff away when you
Well,
know
where are you
people
gonna-
are coming to visit.
Put that in the enema bag drawer.
I mean,
And
I
they
mean,
used
I
it-
know we're family, but
and they used
come
it for
on.
flushing other things out as
Yes.
well. They used it for douching.
Why would my aunt just leave that out?
Harry, don't douche.
I just, she's a horrible person.
No, everybody did.
I remember my grandma
Yeah.
having it hanging on. Grandma Fern had it on the back of her.
Douche.
I mean, I didn't like her anyway, but now I really don't like her.
But see, it didn't do you any damage because you didn't know.
It's doing it now.
The memory.
It's making me think about.
Are you scarred now?
No, her thought process. Family's coming to visit. I'm just going to leave this out. I don't care.
Well, maybe somebody in the family needs an enema or a douche or a hot water bottle. It's handy.
happy.
Follow Gina Barberi on Twitter at RFHGina. This is Radio from Hell on X96.
Okay, 9:21. We got Boner Fight coming up here in about 6 minutes. Okay. So before we get to that, a reasonable amount of news brought to you by
Young Power Sports in Centerville is Utah's newest power sports dealer. Tri-City Performance is now Young Power Sports in Centerville. Your Polaris and Victory motorcycle dealers. See inventory online at youngpowersports.com.
Survey conducted. 1,101 respondents.
Mm-hmm.
Not 1,101. It's 1,100 respondents.
Oh, okay.
To
but
better
that one
understand,
extra makes it funny, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's true. To better understand the utilization of the cleaning habits of cell phone users and their attitude toward transfer of bacteria
I know where this is going.
via contact with their cell phones. So nearly 3 out of 4 people admit that they use their cell phone, look at it while they're on the toilet. And then the other people who said no, they're lying. I maintain that almost everyone who has a smartphone looks at it while they're... It used to be a magazine. Now it's scrolling through your email or texting somebody while you're using your cell phone.
Yep.
Right, Gina?
See, I have one of these.
What do you got there?
Let me show you what I have here.
It's a fake cell phone, so she doesn't get get poo water on her.
What is that?
I'm telling you, it's a UV light cleaner
For your phone.
for your phone.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. So you have that, but you still don't have a camera for your computer that is usable.
It's priorities. And why is it sitting right here on my desk?
Yeah, why?
Because if I go use the bathroom, which is next door here, and I take my phone with me, then when I come out of it, you stick it in this guy, and it.
How long does it have to stay in there?
Yeah,
like 30 seconds.
Really? What if you stick your hand in it?
Well,
you don't have to wash your hands?
In the toilet or in that?
It's for your phone or your keys. Like I'll put my keys in here,
I take
or
my
like
keys into the toilet all the time.
or like your credit cards and things.
Credit
you can
cards,
put those.
I use them while I'm on the toilet as well. Tragedy. He was one of a kind. An original. He will be missed. He was behind the scenes. A movie producer named Jerome Hellman, 92 years old, but his movie producing career consisted of just 7 films, but some of them were great. Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah, yeah.
He won 6 Academy Awards total, 3 for Midnight Cowboy, and 3 for another movie he produced in the 70s, Coming Home.
Oh, both with John Voight.
John Voight.
Hellman, and both Coming Home's. It's I remember even I saw it at once when it came out, and I remember thinking this is really overwrought. You know, it's too much.
Or are you thinking of The Champ, also with John Voight?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that.
Because that one's really overwrought and
Champ,
terrible.
get up!
But Midnight Cowboy, great movie.
Good movie.
Great performance by John Voight and Dustin Hoffman. And anyway, Mr.
Also
Hellman,
a very good Mad movie parody, Midnight Wow Boy.
Was it? And there's a great scene in it with John MacGyver. John MacGyver, let me tell you what you're gonna do, Joe Buck. Let me tell you what you're gonna do. If you've never seen Midnight Cowboy, please just find it and see it. It's great. Let's see. Angelina Jolie, she's never going to forgive Brad Pitt.
Wow.
Never, ever, ever. After he was awarded, I will not forgive you because you were awarded joint custody of our children. According to reports from Us Weekly, Jolie, who is 45 now, was bitterly disappointed by the result and feels that their legal battles are far from over. Speaking of John Voight, that's his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't get along with him at all.
Well, I think there's a screw.
That's something I agree with her on.
Yeah, there's some screws loose in in both of those.
Camps.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
I'd say he's
not.
more crazy than she.
Well, Angelina and Brad share children: Maddox, Pax, Zahara, Shiloh, and twins Knox and Vivienne. She said, but she's just bitterly disappointed that he gets any kind of custody at all, and she will never forgive him. She maintains it's far from over, and she still believes that justice will prevail. So she's going to continue to do this, and the kids will suffer because of it.
I was going to
but
say, is
she
that what's
doesn't
best
care.
for the kids?
She just doesn't care. Let's see. So for a lot of workers, the change in mask policies is very upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the liquor store yesterday. I know, hard to believe. And none of the employees were wearing masks, and I don't think any of the customers were either. I was.
I'm fully vaccinated, and they say if you're fully vaccinated, you don't need to. But I wear them when I'm shopping because people don't know whether I'm vaccinated or not, and I do it as a courtesy to other people.
Well, I don't know. I was kind of surprised that I think maybe there was one more person in there that was wearing a mask besides me. But
I'm going to the liquor store today, and I will be wearing a mask.
But the employees were not. But they've still got the shields up.
Which is just a good idea.
Yeah.
George Takei is coming to town. He's, Mr. Sulu. And he will be coming to Utah to narrate a musical work based on his life. This will be in September at the Moab Music Festival. The composer named Kenji Bunch has done a work called Lost Freedom, A Memory. And it's about his time when he was a little kid. He was in the internment camp, Japanese internment camp at Topaz, Utah. And he's been very, very, very outspoken about these things over the last several years. More than he's spoken about gay rights as well, of course, but I think he's really been more into this. Just really we must not forget that what happened to the Japanese
I think
people.
there are a lot of people in Utah that don't know we had Japanese internment camps here in our state.
Those are the people who believe that there are still dinosaurs alive and Trump is the president.
Yeah, there are people who don't know about the Japanese internment camps, period.
Right.
Because that could be considered critical race theory, right?
Well,
it makes us look bad. We can't study any history that makes us look bad.
That's what I've determined, is that critical race theory is anything that makes people feel bad. But it's important to learn. It's important to learn that stuff.
A couple of other things, Gina. I've noted that you have not mentioned that Bob Baffert has been suspended.
It's true.
By Churchill Downs because
for 2 years,
drugging up his horse, and the horse that won the Kentucky Derby, but not so fast. I think they've taken the crown away.
Yeah, but it's called a split sample where they test one and they go, okay, that tested positive. We'll send the other one to another lab and see if they come up with the same thing, which they did. So Medina Spirit did not win.
No.
The Kentucky Derby.
A federal inquiry has been opened into whether Florida Representative Matt Gaetz obstructed justice in a phone call that he had with a witness in his sex crimes probe. The witness, who has not been named, was one of the women associated with Joel Greenberg, a Seminole County tax collector and former friend of Matt Gaetz, who pleaded guilty last month to sex trafficking a 17-year-old girl in 2017. The phone call in question was between Matt Gaetz' ex-girlfriend and the witness, who reportedly had been in a three-way open relationship.
Really? I hadn't heard
with
this.
The two. At some point, the congressman allegedly joined in on the call, but it's not known what the three discussed. Maybe it was just the good old days. But they're looking into that. Now, just finally this. We had this story yesterday, a list of the best and worst cities for raising a family. And most family-friendly cities. And Salt Lake City was not in either list. I mean, you would think that possibly it could be in the city best for raising a family, but it wasn't. So if it's not there, maybe it should be in the work, but it wasn't there. And now there's a list of the best cities for naked gardening, and not.
Why is this a list?
And not because Gina.
We don't.
There
need
are
this
people.
as
There
a
are
list.
people who garden in the nude. They like to garden in the
I
nude.
don't know that you're very effective gardening in the nude.
I don't.
Can you
you
really
know,
get
you
in
can-
there and
you get your
done what
trowel.
needs?
You get your trowel and you. I think
It's true. Sue stopped me on the way out the door. I was taking my clothes off. She said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going out to water the tomato plants."
yeah, go out to do some gardening.
You're telling
Yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get your drip irrigation system. It works better when you're naked. But my point being here again, Salt Lake City not listed in no.
We got to work harder on this stuff.
Something we've got to
Get
do
higher
something.
fences.
Yeah.
Something.
It's Boner Fight with Radio from Hell on X96.
Going out to tend the green beans. Ah, yes, here we go. The winner from round 1 going against the winner from round 2. These are both boner candidates about great parenting. Number 1, couldn't someone have noticed this? A Washington mother accused of forcing her 6-year-old daughter to have hundreds of unnecessary surgical procedures.
Wow.
Couldn't somebody have, along the way, seen this happening and done something about it? Going up against boner candidate number 2, I was aiming for the dog. It's a mother who's been charged with shooting her 5-year-old son, fortunately not fatally, but shooting her 5-year-old son while trying to shoot a dog that was on the loose across the street. That's
There you
number
go.
2.
You've got to decide of these two candidates which one is the worst, which one should be boner of the day for today. 1 or 2, remember your candidate number. Put that single digit in the message of a text and then text that to 33986. Pretty easy. Or call the producer's booth at 877-602-9696. Or go online, x96.com, and look for the box that says Boner Fight June 3, 2021. You probably won't see that box right away. Refresh your browser, and it will appear. And vote online. You have until the end of these messages. Let's go. It's Boner of the Day.
I was reading one of those woman magazines.
One of your women magazines?
Like your
Ms., your Red Book?
No.
Ladies' Home Journal?
No, like Glamour or Allure or one of those.
Mary
And-
Claire?
And not tongue-in-cheek. Because a lot of times they have, helpful tips in there on how to, host a cocktail party.
Mm-hmm.
They had an article about tips on using weed at parties.
Using weed at parties.
Is it like etiquette? This is weed etiquette.
Yeah.
Like, is it proper etiquette to bring weed as a hostess gift?
Depends on whose party
Depends
you're
on
going
what-
to.
But I mean, this is an art.
Mhm.
They wrote it just like,
Yeah.
do you bring a bottle of wine to your hostess gift? If you bring weed, how do you go about? Do you smoke it inside? Do you go out on the porch? Do you offer some to other? If somebody else has brought it, what's the proper way to ask?
Are these articles written for people who have no common sense?
Yeah.
The point is that the point is exactly what the point that Drop's making is.
Is that back in the 50s, it was, you'll
And now
you'll
it's
go
like
on a killing spree, and now it's don't smoke in the park.
or don't smoke in the house, take it outside. And this is alongside pictures of women in black cocktail dress. They're not hippies with dreadlocks. It's your typical cocktail party.
Which is ridiculous.
You don't think people in black evening gowns are smoking?
No. I resent the fact that the middle class and the upper class has co-opted marijuana. It should be just the hippies, the patchouli oil wearing, dreadlocked hippies, the tie-dye crowd.
It was just interesting that it was just presented in a.
Yeah, but the way you describe the article too, it's just I'm still fixated on the fact that it's apparently written for morons.
Well,
it's just like what?
But but the type of people that read those kind of magazines
are morons.
Maybe haven't encountered that before. I don't know.
Have not encountered common sense.
Well, the point is, the word I will take from you is common. It is now common. That's why it's appearing in magazines.
No, I see. I get that. That's an interesting part of it. But if it were about booze, it would also be for idiots.
Mm-hmm.
It's an article for an idiot. God,
they're not. Why does this make you? I just thought it was interesting. It wasn't the New Yorker. It's a dumb woman's magazine.
Yeah, I know. It's I
get makeup tips out of it. That's what I'm going to that magazine for, not an in-depth article on pot etiquette.
Follow Carrie Jackson on Twitter at RFHCarrie. This is Radio from Hell on X96.
All right, let's award Boner of the Day.
All right, let's do that. It's brought to you in part by a chicken stir-fry with white rice.
And the Blocks is downtown Salt Lake. It's time to get out and play again. Join them for Open Streets every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this summer. For more, visit theblockslc.com.
Both of these boner candidates concerned poor parenting, particularly by mothers. Number two was a woman who shot her 5-year-old son. She said, I was trying to shoot the dog across the street and I just missed. But number one was a mother who is accused of forcing her 6-year-old daughter to have hundreds of unnecessary surgeries. And I think that was the most egregious, and that's winner of Boner of the Day.
That is your Boner of the Day for today, June 3rd. Now qualified to be Boner of the Week. That will be decided by Dave the Flower Guy tomorrow at about this time. All right. Who do we have on the phone here?
I think we have Rebecca Dutson
Rebecca?
from the Children's Center. Hi, Rebecca.
Good morning.
The Children's Center, that's up on the University of Utah campus, right?
No. It's
Well,
the old
we
Ochre
used
School.
to be. Yeah,
Oh.
we have a location downtown now in the Ochre School.
Oh, see, when my kids were little, one of them went to the Children's Center, and it was up on the U campus. There's this fundraiser, and Gina Barberi is intimately involved in this. So why don't you take it, Gina?
Well, it's the Shine Gala. I've actually hosted a gala for the Children's Center before a few years ago when Alex Boyer was the special guest. And this is usually a huge event, and this year it's huge, but it's going to be virtually huge, right, Rebecca?
That's right. We're online this year, and I think it's a little different, and it's also great because so many people can be engaged who sometimes otherwise wouldn't be.
Now, I mentioned Alex Boyer was the special guest when I hosted it last time. There's a celebrity guest this year as well. I thought Carrie'd be excited about this. It's Zachary Levi.
Shazam!
Exactly. Yeah,
So-
we're thrilled to have Zachary. He is a great advocate for mental health, and so it's a really nice fit, and we feel really honored that he's joining us.
So how does this all work?
Well, this is so pretty simple, actually. We just invite people to register online, and it's 1 hour. So you get registered and you get online, and we provide a bit of education about the work that we're doing in the community and the state supporting early childhood mental health. And we also have some fun. We're trying to raise resources. All of the resources that we raise from our annual Shine Gala help us provide services to children and families who otherwise could not afford it. So our goal has always been and continues to be to never turn away a child or family that is in need of help.
And I have to tell you, Rebecca, my daughter has volunteered at the Children's Center in the past, and her work at the Children's Center has led her down a path to want to study children's mental health when she goes to college. So the Children's Center has been a huge influence on my family, and I'm really happy to be able to help out with the fundraiser tomorrow night.
So how are you going to do the cocktails and the hors d'oeuvres? That's what I want to know.
Well, this year it's kind of interesting. We did have an in-person reception last evening for people who felt comfortable getting together. We had to make some decisions a couple of months ago and, surveyed our donors and people who've been guests for years. And, some people felt comfortable getting together and some didn't. I don't know that we all could have imagined how comfortable it really would be at this point, at least in our community now.
So, if people want to find out more about this and contribute to the Children's Center and find, just more information and be a part of this gala, what do they do?
So head to our website, which is childrenscenterutah.org, and /gala will get you to the page where you can click and register. And then the event is free, so just get online and join us. And then we hope that everyone will feel compelled to give. We've got a bunch of great matching sponsors, so you double your impact when you're giving tomorrow night.
And it's free, so
and Gina will be there.
I will.
And Gina is going to be there, and we're so thrilled about that.
And Gina, you don't really know what you're doing yet, do you? You have to rehearse. Is that right?
I have a script.
Oh, a script.
Yep.
That's going to be great.
It tells me what to say and when to say it. It's nice.
Great.
And I've submitted questions for Gina for Zachary Levi. So if she gets a moment, she's going
for geeks.
Ask him some spoiler questions about the next Shazam movie.
Well, we'll see you tonight, and I hope some other people are hearing about this for the first time and saying, "Oh, I'll check that out tomorrow night." It's the childrenscenterutah.org/gala.
All right. Well, thank
Thanks,
you very
Rebecca.
much.
Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.
We will take a break, and then we will crawl towards the exits after these X96. Right, I forgot. We got to talk about the Utah Department of Workforce Services. They got that job fair today.
Oh, it's today, yeah.
It starts at 10 o'clock. So,
oh, yeah. Good heavens.
probably go to jobs.utah.gov, and you can probably still get into it. I'm almost positive you can.
Yeah, you register there, and it just lets you into this virtual job fair. More than 250 different employers will be there. With all kinds of different jobs: healthcare, IT, construction, retail, transportation, banking.
Yeah, it's free to do this, by the way. So if you just go to jobs.utah.gov, if you're out of work right now, or you don't like the work you're doing and are thinking about changing your line of work, this is for you. Jobs.utah.gov, and then register for this virtual job fair. It's going to start at 10 o'clock, but that's fine. You can still get into it and because it's virtual. You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to worry about.
You're not
getting
driving
in your car.
anywhere.
No. So jobs.utah.gov, jobs.utah.gov. Well, get another job. Why don't you? Huh?
I like your shirt, by the way. New shirt?
No.
What?
Old shirt.
You never wear it, though.
No, I don't.
Why not?
I don't know.
It's a nice shirt.
I don't wear it very often.
Well, you should.
Okay. Great.
I gave you a compliment.
Then maybe I will. I will wear it as often as I ever do, which is not often. It's a shirt that I bought. I remember exactly when I bought this shirt. It's when there was an Old Navy over here on 4th South.
Mm-hmm.
Over there
Where
on 4th
Trader
South.
Joe's is going to be.
Yeah. And there was an Old Navy there. And I went in there one day, and they had this big pile of shirts on the floor. I'm not kidding, as Old Navy does sometimes. And they said, all of the shirts in this pile are $1.20. I'm not kidding. $1.20. And I thought, this shirt being $1.20, that's a negative money.
Yeah. It costs more than that to...
Yeah, there's more material in this shirt. There's more little, Vietnamese or Singaporean child finger blood in this shirt from sewing the buttons on. And so I bought it for $1.20 off the floor at the Old Navy.
You would not think that.
It's not. It's just a dumb shirt.
You should have kept the receipt in the pocket. My sister bought a coat
But we
once.
never do a 120 time check, Gina. So
My sister bought a coat once that was on sale, and it ended up being $7, and she kept the receipt in the pocket so that anytime anybody said, I like that coat.
Her sister, Minnie Pearl.
No, Mikkel.
Just to
I
prove.
like that coat. She'd say, $7. No, it's not. I have the receipt. She kept it in the pocket.
Right there. Right
$7 coat.
that is the see again. That's the kind of thing that the Barbary girls are interested in.
$7? I don't believe that was $7.
But you could have a debate with some other people about the political situation in Tibet or the existence of God. But when you're debating with the Barbary girls, it's whether Bill Murray is going to go crashing parties and how much the coat cost. Is she the good-looking one?
They are all good-looking.
No, they are not.
They are. All of my sisters are good-looking.
Lolita! Certainly not. All right, let's get this over with.
One is better looking than the others.
No, they are all good-looking.
It's that one that's really good-looking, and then there's there's an okay one, and then there's that other one.
I get phone calls every time you do this.
Which one is he talking about?
They know.
Yeah,
they know.
all. I'm surprised they call. All they have to do is look in the mirror.
Yeah,
all they have to do is look at a family photo, Gina. They'll all point to the good-looking one.
All the Barbary girls know. They know who the good-looking one is. It's true.
So we're not making these things up.
X96 Radio from Hell.
Okay, 9:51 right now.
We were talking yesterday about why why restaurants were having such a hard time finding servers and cooks and so forth. I got this email. It says, it doesn't say whether it can use the name or not, so I won't. Why is there such a shortage of willing applicants in the restaurant industry? Well, nobody wants to wait on tables. Nobody wants to work in a fast food chain. Why? Well, this is my opinion on why, this person writes. The service worker is not valuable as a human being, not as valuable as the human being paying for the service. Take the waitress or waiter who has spent over an hour waiting on a large family and their unruly children. You've spent an hour running for condiments, taking back the steak that wasn't cooked to their perfection, listening to them complain about the prices going up and what are they getting for their money and why can't they substitute this for that. They have food allergies and sometimes sensitivities, and they need more refills on their drinks and so on and so on. Then they leave you with a disgusting mess and no tip. So there is no consequence for their bad behavior. As long as they pay the bill, no consequence. You, the service provider, are left feeling undervalued, demoralized. Of course, not every patron is horrible, but most are actually very pleasant, and they do tip. But this idea that you are not as valuable as a person because you are providing a service stays with you. It stays inside of you, combined with management and owners that also devalue you by paying you next to nothing. It's hard to swallow that day after day. We also need to be treated with respect and dignity. Even before the pandemic, these jobs were tough. Now they're even more tough. I do have to say that most mom-and-pop restaurants, the few that still exist, are actually probably better places to work than the chain restaurants. The chains are the worst experience. So that's...
Yeah.
It just goes to the feeling of being not valued. Even if you're not treated poorly I don't think I ever treat the people who are serving me poorly, but I may ignore them. You know what I mean? They provide you the service. You don't really interact with them. They're just there. They put the food on the table. And, you probably should take this second to say, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Or, but I think you don't a lot of times. I think I probably I'm engaged in conversation with who I'm with or whatever, and I just expect that stuff to happen.
But even if you're engaged in conversation, it only takes a second to when they drop off the water or whatever. It's like, thank you, just real quick. That's all it takes. But at least you're
I think I do that mostly. But I see that people probably are not meaning to be mean, but they're just not paying attention to the service they're getting. I can see where it would make the server feel like a nobody, a non-existent person.
Brett in the chat room says, not every person that you serve is terrible, but the terrible ones are the ones that you remember about that job.
Well, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was an interesting follow-up to our discussion yesterday.
Jim says that he says thank you to people restocking the shelves at the grocery store.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sure.
I go around and shake every cashier's hand before I leave.
Don't do that.
I'm not shaking hands anymore.
No hand
now I elbow bump.
Yeah, don't take that personally. I don't shake hands anymore.
I used to do I do the thumbs up and say, keep them flying.
Like tomorrow, people are going to reach out to shake my hand. Don't take it personally if I go, nope.
Not shaking anybody's hand. It's not just you.
Do the thumbs up and say, keep them flying.
You can do the head nod, Carrie. The...
Sup?
Yeah. Just give
the chin forward. Sup?
Yeah.
The way Gina did it, it looks like she had some sort of nervous tick.
I do.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll see you tomorrow with the Tracy Aviary.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be there at 6. You can't come until 8. But feel free, please, drop by and see us, say hello. It'll be the first contact we have had with each other and contact we have had with fans, if any of you are left out there. So drop by the Tracy Aviary tomorrow. It's at Liberty Park, 13th South, 6 East is right where the entrance is.
All right, let's do the promo and get out of here.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay.
We've crawled toward the weekend. Welcome it with Friday's Radio from Hell show.
But remember to join us at Tracy Aviary, okay? As we get together for the first time in 441 days to broadcast live starting at 6.
And at 8 a.m., we'll answer the best question of the week. But what is that question? I don't know. You need to send it to us. Weird, fun, strange? Send your questions to radiofromhell@x96.com.
At 8:45, Mayor Wilson will join us for the weekly Salt Lake County update. And as always, Dave, the flower guy, will drop by, and I believe he'll do it in person to crown Boner of the Week.
So join us and the birds at Tracy Aviary on Friday's Radio from Hell show, X96. Longest promo in history.
It just felt long.
Yeah. All right, I think we got everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
All business?
You bet.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to wake up earlier than usual.
Okay. And I got to
Don't
put
forget
shoes on.
all your gear.
How am I going to lose 40 pounds by tomorrow?
I have a very sharp knife you can borrow.
Lose 10 pounds of ugly fat. Cut off your head.
All right. Fine job, Katie, as always. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
Carrie, you're naked. Where are you going? To water the tomatoes?
Corey is next.